First off, I don't care what you people say. Never follow rules. I'm a trendsetter anyway. Okay, I march to the beat of my own drum. They say I need rules in my life. Well, I got some. That's one. Kill the competition. Two. Be a loyal dog. Three. And if they snitching on your man, send them to the morgue. Four. When you party, go hard till you hit the floor. Five. If you didn't see me do it, what the hell you asking for? Welcome to my world. SINA.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Big Llama Show. I'm the Big Llama. Welcome back to me. Sorry I missed last week. It is a Sunday night live stream. We come to you live every Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on the Facebooks and on YouTube and on Twitch at Blkout_AD. Let me bring out my co-host extraordinaire, Blkout AD. Sir, welcome to the show this fine Sunday evening. How are you?
What's up, Llama?
I'm here, man. I'm back. I'm back on the show, man, after a 1 week hiatus, which again, I apologize profusely to everyone who was expecting a show last week. But I just couldn't make it, man. I just couldn't make it. But I'm here. I'm feeling better. I look better. I felt comfortable sending you horrific pictures of myself, but I didn't want to post anything, even though I'm a social media whore. I would have posted it, but I looked really bad, man. I mean, I just couldn't do it with the medication in my face. I just couldn't do it. So I'm sorry, guys. My call last minute. I decided to cancel. And AD is usually game to do it by himself or with somebody else, and I just kind of made the call to say no, we're not doing it. So that's all on me. So if you guys missed it last week, my apologies.
Yeah, I mean, just so you know, Llama Nation, when my face doesn't work, I still show up.
It's true. You came over here with half a face working. You were still running the show
for weeks.
I have no excuse. I mean, but to be honest, like, okay, so half your face didn't work. My face was oozing, like shit was coming out of my face on one side. It was really bad. It looked like I fought Rocky Balboa. It was really bad.
Why didn't you want me to do the show myself? I would have did it.
I just kind of felt that I felt it was last minute, and I really felt bad because I should have pulled the trigger earlier and had you get somebody or make the call. And I kind of like wavered. Okay, am I going to do it? And then I had that. I don't know if you saw it, AD. I was changing the beauty, the beauty filters. There's a beauty filter on this app, on the app that we're using, and there's a beauty filter on my camera that will like remove blemishes. And I tried it, and it looked horrific. Every time I turned a certain way, you could see the stuff coming out of my face. So I was gonna really try it, but honestly, I was on medication. I'm still on medication, but I just didn't feel right. I just didn't feel right at all. So like I said, I made the call last minute. So my call, but I wish I would have told you earlier or sooner. I just thought I could make it through. But damn, yeah, something hit me hard, man. I got sensitive skin, man. I'm a sensitive crier, and I got sensitive skin. That's just how it works. Go ahead, AD. I can see you brewing a
No. I mean, I get it. You were all down about it, but like, I was like, it's not that bad. It wasn't that bad. We could have did the show, but I get it too because I was also sick last week. So, I mean, I'm still kind of sick, but I was very bad that day, so it kind of worked out. But
Yeah.
I was just kind of disappointed that we missed the show because we never missed the show ever. That was the first time we both missed the show.
Yeah, and it hurt. It hurt to me. It was like, damn. I felt really bad saying we're not doing the show, and then like all week long, I was like, I can't wait to get back to the show. So again, I felt good about us getting back together, but it really felt shitty in the moment. Like 10 o'clock hit, and I was like, damn. We need to be on. We need to be doing this. And then, but honestly, like I said, I was in a bad spot. Like I had literal eye ointment, like not drops, like ointment that you put in your eyes that you rub into your eye. I had that in both eyes, and I was in bad shape, man. I just looked horrible. But again, I'm back, and I'm happy that I'm back. I got to record some stuff this week. I'm off this week. I'm off all this week. Took the spring break off with the kids. So I'm excited because I get to play full-time content creator for the week.
Nice.
Imagine what my life would be like if I could do this full-time. So
Don't let the time pass, man.
No. That's what I'm saying. I've got a plan. I've got a couple of recordings I want to do. I got some content that's going to drop. I'm really excited. So this week is going to be fun for me. Got plans with the kids and the family too, but like there's a lot of downtime, which is great. So downtime for me is editing and recording some stuff. So it's really, really good. So happy spring break. Happy St. Patty's Day to everyone. I'm wearing the green underneath the shirt today. But I was doing some drinking today, so I'm feeling really, really loose today.
Yeah, I saw you. I don't know what it was, a picture or something. Was that
yeah. With my Ricardos. I'm busted out. Well, Mama Llama had, the festivities for spring break, had the teacher friends over as she usually does. And so I was party host, and while I host, I usually drink while I'm hosting. So I was enjoying some beverages, and I do feel pretty good. I watched a movie, I relaxed. And then I was like, I don't have to work tomorrow, so I can stay up and do some editing and do some stuff before tomorrow. So really, really excited. So it's going to be a fun night. Yeah, and if you noticed, Big Poppy Angie, thank you. Shout out to him for the new look. Gabe gave us a shout out there. He said new look is fire. I just wanted to do something different, right? Do something a little different. And him and I have been talking about doing just some overlays and stuff. So we got a new little look. We also have some new brand stuff. So when the show is starting, we're going to have something like this, right? And when we're ending, we're going to have something like this. I'm just really, really excited for it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So, just trying new things, man. I get excited. I get geeked out about this kind of shit. You know me. Oh, I did the ad for you. I know you like that. I was excited. Again, I was in an experimental, like, fun, creative groove this week because I didn't have the show. I wanted to make up for it. I guess that was my gift to you as a makeup gift. But but I felt really good creatively, and I haven't felt that good in a while. So I just started doing some stuff and tweaking this and doing that. So really, really excited. What about you, man? What you have going on this week? I got a couple of things we talk about before we get into topics, but you got anything going on this week?
Nah, man, I've been down. I've been feeling down lately. I don't know.
You've been sick. That's it, right? I mean, what you got?
But just mentally too. I don't know what's going on. I haven't been streaming. I did do a Whatnot stream, and that's been. I mean, the Pokemon card side of it has been going really good. But I've just been down, man. I don't know. I can't really explain it. I'm just trying to get through the dark patch.
I got you, man. I understand. So what happened? So the background. You had the background, and you're building some stuff.
That broke.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Sore subject. I won't bring it up.
I was very upset.
I didn't know that. You should have told me. I'm sorry. I was all excited about it.
I was too, dude. Trust. It just tumbled over. It was terrible.
I'm just gonna shut up right now and just not ask you about anything else. I'm just gonna keep talking. How about this? I'll just talk. You chime in. I feel really bad.
Let's get right into topics, man.
Right,
something I wanted to get into with last week, but you ducked the smoke.
Oh, you talking about Jake Paul?
Yeah, your dumb ass tweet, Llama.
Oh my god! But no, I got backing now. I got backing from
by who?
MMA fighters.
No,
everybody's coming out. No. We're ready.
Listen,
I'm ready for this topic.
You're not, because one, you said, "Hey, Jake Paul, how about you fight this guy?" and put a picture of Francis Ngannou. So you want him to go fight a 260-pound world champion instead of 6-year-old Mike Tyson? If we're doing it for the money, one, which that's what we keep saying. Two, when he fought 2 weeks ago against an actual fighter who was, I forgot the guy's record. I think he was like 13-1 at that point. A legitimate fighter in his weight class, still kind of in his prime. I think he was like 30, so he's not full. I mean, he's probably in fighting terms, still in his prime. You had no tweets, no nothing. You had no backlash for it. But when he comes out with a massive deal to stream, which we got to realize what the deal is doing. Netflix streaming a fight is something that we haven't seen in combat sports at all, and could change the landscape of the game. But then you say, "Hey, why don't you fight Francis Ngannou?" Like, if that was a terrible take, Llama. It was terrible.
It's not a terrible take because if you're gonna go. Again, we've talked about this, and this is my whole point. If you say you're a boxer and you say you're trying to be in a boxing game and you're trying to be a legit champion, we've said this. Then fight the people within that sport, do the ranks and all that good stuff. I'm with that. But if you're just a showman and you're there for the money, then do the money, and that's fine. I'm good either way. But you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, I'm going to be no, you can't be, I'm a legit boxer. But this is, look, Oscar De La Hoya, Bisping, and a couple other guys came out and said the same thing. They said, if he's going to say, I'm focusing on being a world champion in boxing, you can't be taking these money-making, exhibition, like bullshit fights, or you focus and be the champion. And again, go for your money, get your bag. That's fine. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's okay. But don't say you are one and then do the other. Like, you can't do that. Like, you're fighting 60-year-old Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Well, no. Mike Tyson was trying to fight one.
And that's fine. That's fine. But Mike Tyson has nothing to do with Jake Paul saying, I am a legit boxer. I'm going to be the champion. I want to be a champion one day. I'm going to be.
My thing is, where was this take last 2 weeks ago when he actually fought the boxer that's in it?
But that's what I'm saying. When he's fighting the boxer, no one really cares because
when he did.
But I'm saying when he's fighting the boxer, he's climbing the ranks. That's what he's supposed to do.
But no one cares.
Nobody, and that's fine. And that's what I'm saying. Nobody cares because the sport of boxing is dead. That's fine.
Let's be real. He's not doing it just so he can be a champion. He's gonna be a champion and make the money on the way to be a champion. So he's gonna do these fights. And two, if you listen to his actual conversation about it, Netflix and him made the deal. and they gave him 3 tiers. They gave him a A-level fighter that can get this amount of money, a B-level fighter that would get this amount of money, and a C-level fighter that would get this amount of money. Mike Tyson is the A-level fighter,
right?
Because of the name. So now you're doing something way. It's not. This is bigger. This is bigger than anything. This is what honestly could change the landscape of the UFC, doing something on a streaming platform like this, where the fight nights are on a streaming platform. This can change the landscape of the fight. So yeah, everybody's like, "Oh, he's 60 years old. Who gives a fuck, bro? They're fighting." My thing with you is, one, you had nothing to say when he actually fought the fighters. Nothing, literally zero, zilch. There wasn't even a tip the hat to you fighting. You didn't even know he was fighting a fighter. 2,
right? Because I don't care. That's what I'm saying. I care
because you tweeted, and then you said Francis Ngannou, which was that was the part that blew my mind. It was like, Llama, you're making a point of saying, why are you fighting this guy, and then be like, fight this guy who is in reverse. Would be like, if they made that fight, Francis versus Jake Paul. Do you know what people would say to Francis? Fight people in your own weight class. Fight the boxers that are actually boxing. The same thing you were saying. So to me, I was like,
I said it because that's what we were talking about before. Because Jake Paul would fight non-boxers, old basketball players, ex-MMA fighters, people way past their prime. So why don't you take an old MMA boxer who is trying to be a boxer, or an old MMA fighter who's trying to be a boxer who can actually punch?
Well, current MMA fighter.
Right. I'm just saying, who's trying to be a boxer. But that's what I'm saying.
Also a heavyweight.
But he's saying he'd do heavyweight. That's what I'm saying. Jake Paul said that. He's a heavyweight. He wrote that. He wrote that on his tweets.
He would not. He
did write that.
Yeah, he wrote it, but come on, bro. Let's be honest.
I'm just saying.
You think he would do that?
No.
Anyways, my thing is
that's why I said
boxers.
That.
Nobody cared. Now everybody's talking about it. They got Lil Llama using his Twitter fingers, for no reason. But my thing is, just let him fucking fight Mike Tyson. Because at the end of the day, Mike Tyson will still Mike Tyson will still knock him out right now at 60 years old. Age doesn't really matter when it comes to that skill gap. There's a skill gap there. That's another thing. There's a legitimate skill gap. You think, bro, watch the training footage on Mike Tyson right now.
Listen, but here's the thing, and this is where
he's
my whole
scarier
point.
than any boxer or any MMA fighter that Jake Paul has fought right now. Mike Tyson at 60 years old is scarier than them right now.
But here's Jake is in a no-win situation. He's in other than money and popularity to the sport, he's in a no-win situation. If he beats Tyson, he beats another has-been 60-year-old fighter.
No, you can't call him
has-been. He's a has-been. He's 60 years old. He hasn't been the champion in forever. He hasn't fought. He's been on rules. No, it's not by different rules.
This is not traditional boxing.
I'm sorry. Now has-been's the wrong word. He's a retired fighter. He's a retired fighter who has not stepped in the ring in many years. He's a different person in terms of the character. In what? Oh,
in 3 years.
That was an exhibition fight.
And
that
so
was for fun.
This one will be an exhibition as well.
I know. But what I'm saying is this is not Mike Tyson in his prime. So you're fighting a close to 60-year-old Mike Tyson. So if you beat a 60-year-old Mike Tyson, all they're going to say is the same thing. Jake Paul, you're fighting old fighters. You're fighting. That's what I'm saying. So if you beat Mike Tyson, that's what's going to come out of it. Again, that's exactly what's going to happen. If he loses to Mike Tyson, you can't beat a fucking 60-year-old. You're losing to 60-year-old old retired fighters. So he cannot win. He cannot win.
A guy if he draws.
And if he draws this match and they go all the rounds and they draw, they're going to say it's rigged. I'm telling you, he cannot win. He cannot win the public appearance. I'm just saying.
I don't think that's my
take on it.
It's a terrible
take, about
I
it.
think. I don't think it's good at all because look, he just beat a 13-1 boxer still fighting, a Golden Glove winner.
Right.
So everything you just said,
in that lane.
But
Stay in that lane, that's the beautiful thing. Stay in that lane. Stay in that lane and fight those guys.
He does not have to.
Okay.
I think this is bigger for every fighting sport ever. This right here. Them streaming it on Netflix with no pay-per-view, no nothing, just streaming on Netflix is bigger than anything and probably will do bigger numbers than any fight card
Oh,
in the last
absolutely.
year. But
yeah,
that's the game he's playing. And at the end of the day, we had this argument before. And what did I say
Right.
before? We got to just get rid of the notion of, oh, he's a 6-year-old fighting or not 6-year-old. He's a YouTuber fighting. He wants to box. Cool. He's going to get the fights when he gets the fights. He fights the actual boxers. Nobody gives him praise. Nobody says anything. Nobody says shit about him beating the Golden Glove winner, knocking him out in the first round. Nobody says shit about that. But now he's fighting Mike Tyson for a bag that's probably more than any fighter. He can fight any top name fighter right now and make less money fighting Mike Tyson. So why not do that? And you're changing the landscape of the game. He's playing a different game, bro. We got to, as casuals, you got to understand that. You got to stop using the excuses. Yeah, he's 60-year-old. Who gives a fuck? Mike Tyson signed on the line. They're fighting. That's just the reality of the situation. The lose-lose is not true because he's already lost. He doesn't have an O on his record. He's already lost against, again, a boxer. You know, like people keep saying he's not fighting he's fought boxers. He's already lost against one. He's knocked 2 out. Back to back. 2 boxers back to back. Nobody's saying shit. There's none of this fake outrage about it. He's already lost. Like he's not fighting for a record. He's not fighting. He can get to the championship by doing this. He's gonna be the first boxer to get to a championship fight, fighting has-beens, as you say. You know what I'm saying? But he's gonna get to that point, and he's gonna fight that level, and it's gonna happen because of the moves he's making right now. I think, but my thing with you put the Francis thing. It was like that's literally what you're arguing about.
Again, his issue and my issue with him is, what is your story? What's your narrative? Like, and he's got it. Listen, he's got lots of money, and he could hire a good damn PR team or a team that could tell a fucking story. What is your narrative? What are you going for? Because on one hand you say I am this, and on the other hand you do this. Which one is it? That's all. That's all. He could shape this. He could shape this and say, I don't give a fuck about what you think about me. I am fighting the biggest fights I can to make the most money, and I'm trying to make this sport bigger than ever. But
clear. I think it's very clear he doesn't give a fuck. I think it's very clear. He wouldn't take this fight if he gave a fuck.
All right, what I'm saying is you. But what I'm saying is you have again, and I know this is probably the old heads in the sport of boxing, but you have professionals in the sport of boxing not criticizing his business acumen, because they're saying this guy is making money hand over fist, and the fact that he put it on Netflix, they're all acknowledging what you're saying, which is the Netflix deal is huge for the sport, and in fact probably genius. But what they're saying is you got to stop saying I am doing this for this, and stop doing. And again, not my point, but that's their point, was saying stop saying that you're trying to be a legit boxing champion or a legit boxer, and stop doing these exhibitions. Otherwise, it's not the same. But again, that's from the world of professional boxing that is criticizing him as an athlete or as a boxer.
Oscar De La Hoya doesn't like him, so you got to kind of take that with the thing. Michael Bisping's an MMA fighter who also has a lot of negative things to say about him, mostly. So you got to kind of like take that perspective, and also just come with your own perspective. And your perspective, this is what I'm arguing. My perspective I already hear what they're saying, but you got to understand too, the story that you're saying he needs, he's already laid it out. He's trying to raise the money that these fighters should be getting paid. This has been years. The whole time he's been doing this. This is his thing. I'm trying to raise money for the fighters. The fighter pay. That's been his thing. This deal does that. So the story you said he doesn't have, he does have, and he's continuing on it. And again, he's already fought the boxers that you guys are saying he's not trying to fight and knocked them out. So he's giving you that. He took the Fury guy off however many rounds it was, 8 rounds, I believe. A guy who's a legitimate boxer who comes from a boxing family took him 8 rounds. The guy couldn't finish him. A quote unquote world-class boxer, because I think he kind of sucks, to be honest. But
he's got a name.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he did that already. And he's, again, raising the money for fighter pay all across the board. So he's doing exactly what he's saying. He will be a champion. Think about it. Francis just went and fought Fury.
Oh my God.
Anthony Joshua, right? He did that. He jumped right in the deep end. So what you guys are saying, and look at him, he got knocked the fuck out.
Oh my God. That was embarrassing.
Now he cannot fight at that level again because he already got knocked out. He made his bag. I mean, he might be able to fight maybe an Andy Ruiz or these lower level guys that people will give him a still, but he's still not going to fight them. He's going to go back to MMA. He's going to do it. He basically blew his load right there. Boom.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jesus.
But I think Jake Paul is clearly committed to the sport of boxing. Like, people discredit that. Who cares if he's fighting Mike Tyson, bro? Like, truthfully, because Mike Tyson is still dangerous. Mike Tyson still can knock him out. And it's not a lose-lose because, again, even if he loses to Mike Tyson, guess what? Somebody else is gonna want to fight him. Somebody else will fight him. There will be another bigger fight down the line. This doesn't ruin anything. It doesn't ruin his stock. He already has an L. That I could see that point if he didn't have an L and now he's fighting Mike Tyson, padding his stat. No, he just knocked 2 people out back-to-back fights. Nobody said shit. You know what I'm saying? Now he's getting the big money fight that, again, what's that saying where it's like a rising tide lifts all boats? That's what's going on right here. That's what this play is. It has nothing to do with the perception of he's fighting a 6-year-old Mike Tyson. They gave him 3 level tiers, and I bet you the top fighters in his weight class right now are in the C tier. Will not move the needle. Nobody would give a fuck if he's fighting the champion of his weight class on Netflix. Nobody would give a fuck. But guess what? They will give a fuck about. He fights Mike Tyson, and then guess what? He fights that champion 2 years down the road on Netflix. I bet you that deal will be even sweeter. I bet you the storyline will be even better. Like, I think people who have that negative take are thinking too small-minded when it comes to this. He's already stated what he wants to do, and he's doing it. Amanda Serrano, a Puerto Rican fighter, who he's been like under his wing, just bringing her everywhere, really promoting her as a women's champion, trying to change the rule set of time limits for the women to fight a little bit longer. Like, they're doing a lot of things for boxing that these champions that people want him to fight are not doing and are not capable of doing. I think it's just a different game. My whole reason with like bringing this up to you though is like the Francis picture. I was just like, that's such a it's just a dumb take to me because it's like that's literally, if they were to fight, people would say the same thing to Francis. Why are you fighting Jake Paul? Why are you fighting? Like, if you would have came up with somebody who's actually in the division, who is a top fighter in his weight class, I wouldn't even have nothing to say. But it was the fact that you're kind of spreading that misinformation of this being a bad thing in a way. You know what I'm saying? So like that's kind of what it's kind of frustrating because we've had this talk already. Right. Every time he fights, we have this argument. It's like, Llama, when are you gonna realize the perception of the common people? You know a lot, not that you know, I mean, you do know a lot, but like you're more ingrained in the fighting sport since me and you have been doing our pod because I'm super into it. But to me, it's like, Llama, you're not seeing the bigger picture of this. Like, out of all the years we talk about fighting, this is not clicking with you. You're still thinking like a casual that has really no thoughts. And then I kind of do hate as your co-host that you're like, well, these guys said, who cares what they said? What do you say? What is your thought process? Because I'm giving you exactly what I'm thinking, you know? But I just want to get with you, and I'm glad you canceled the show because you would have had a bad face and then you lost the argument.
Right? No, it's not. I don't think I'm losing the argument. I understand your points, and again, I've conceded the points of saying I understand the business aspects of all of the things that Jake Paul is doing. I don't have a problem with that. Like I said, my problem is just the messaging that he puts out, and that's all. And my whole thing is again.
Do you actually like truly listen to him speak about it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I do. I have heard him talk about fighters' pay and getting people paid in the sport. I see, and that's what I'm saying. I don't mind him doing that and then having his own promotions and like fighting is now like an independent contractor type sport now. You don't need but I mean is you don't need the big fight promoters anymore. Like you can do self promotions. You can get your money from a whole. No, but it wasn't. It used to be held by like certain entities,
Yeah.
right? Like you had to be part of Showtime Promotions, or you had to be part of De La Hoya or Golden Gloves, or you had to be part of whoever Don King, Don King Productions. Then it became, what can we do to separate from these sort of monopolies of the sport, which were held by the gaming or the licensing commissions, right, that had the rights to the fights and all that good stuff, and then the casinos and shit like that. So what happened is, over time, they figured out how to open up the sport and pay for the big money fights.
Yeah.
Jake is taking that to the next level, which is
Jake started it. It wasn't there until Jake came, because now when you think about it, so Masvidal, this is another, quote unquote celebrity fight, but it's Masvidal versus Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz has his own fighting promotion because he fought Jake. Now Jake, because of him fighting Jake, and everybody's like, he's fighting a wash MMA. Now he can go, and him and Masvidal can do their own promotion on their own thing and make waves, because it's a fight that people wanted to see in MMA because there was like some history there, and now they're getting to see it in the boxing thing because of Jake. Now you see a Devin Haney doing deals with other people, even more so, because the only people before was Floyd. He was the only person that was like able to go out and do this. Everybody else was under contract. All these fighters, it's changing the landscape of fighting. It truly is.
Yeah, from that perspective, it's fine. Again, I think for me, like I said, I'll stick to my point, because I won't waver on that point. Is the fact is, the caliber of people you're fighting, I get it. The spectacle is there. The draw is there. So the Mike Tyson fight is going to be huge. But I can't.
And one Golden Glove fighter knocked out in the first round, and you're saying the caliber of fighter is not there?
No,
he just did that.
Okay, no, and that's fine. That's fine. But the draw for that is not. See, the person he's fighting isn't a draw. The sport of boxing is dead. Like, the people in boxing, like, unless you're in boxing, and they don't have a good promotional shoot. Like, so for example, I'll give a good example. UFC, right? I don't know half the fighters in UFC, but they tell a damn good story every fight card that they have, right? If you sit down and you watch a prelim, or you watch a fight night, or you watch the actual card, right? The main cards, you can get engulfed in a story, and they will sell the characters. They'll sell the fighters. They'll sell so you have like as a casual, an invested interest in whoever is fighting, and then you start to get to know the personalities, and then you sort of pick up on the fighters, and you go, okay. So there's a promotional tool behind it. What I'm saying right now in boxing, it's not like it was back in the day where you could rattle off 10 boxers' names and you go, those were top-notch guys. They held the biggest pay-per-view draws. You would pay big money. You would go stay up late and watch these fights. They don't have that anymore. They probably do for the diehard boxing fans, but not for regular casuals. Again, Mike Tyson was the big name back in the 80s, early 90s. Evander Holyfield, Buster Douglas, would you have Sugar Ray Leonard? You had Hagler. Again, you had all these names that were big, and the sport had exploded. And now it's like, okay, Fury. And again, if you know the name and you are into the sport, great. But from an outside perspective, it doesn't have the mass appeal. So yeah, the fact that Jake fought whoever the fuck he fought last week, or whatever, last whatever match, it doesn't matter to us because it's not a big draw, and that's fine, and I get that. So fighting Tyson it makes sense in the terms of a business decision. For Netflix, for sure, this is going to have huge numbers, changes the game. Everybody's going to watch who has a Netflix subscription, over 150 plus million subscribers. They're all going to be watching, and you're going to have people subscribing to just watch this bout. So it's a draw. I get it. I'm just saying from a true competition perspective, if you're saying you're a boxer, fight boxers. That's my whole point the whole time. He did. I said, I know he did, but now he's not.
No, but you're giving a backhanded compliment in terms of, like, you're saying, oh, I know you fought that guy, but fight an actual boxer. He did fight the actual boxer, and he knocked him out. But now he's fighting the face. So then when he fights an actual boxer, the price goes up, because he will. Right. That's the thing. Win, lose, or draw, he's going to fight again, and he's going to fight a boxer again. That's the thing. And he's also very young in his career. Think about it. These guys have been fighting since they're 12 years old, right? Or earlier, 9, 8. You know what I mean? Devin Haney and fucking Ryan Garcia, they fought the first time when they were 10 years old, right? He's very young in the sport, and he's elevating. Every time he fights, he looks better every time. But you can't say fight a boxer when he just did, and now he's fighting a face. He can do both because that's just the world he's in. He's not a traditional boxer. He can fight whoever he wants, whenever he wants, make a lot of money. Cool. But he's clearly showing he's taking the aptitude to fight these boxers, but he's got to build the business as well. There's two sides to the sword.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. That's what I say. On the business side, genius move. The optics though, he can't win. He's not going to win.
I don't know.
I'm just saying. He knocks out Tyson.
If he wins a belt, then nobody will care that he fought Mike Tyson on the way to the belt. Nobody will care. Trust.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet you he's not going to win a belt.
I mean, we'll see.
I would put big money on that he's not going to win a belt. But
we'll see. But that's the thing. This is something that's going to be. He's only what, 25, 26? Fighters fight until they're 30, and he has the money. It's not like he's doing this because he's poor. He's doing this because he loves this shit. So I think you're really underestimating, and I think it's a bad move. I mean, if you put all your money, you might lose because he's gonna fight. That's the thing. He's gonna fight other boxers. He's been doing it. Whether people want to give him the credit of fighting or not, he has been doing it, and he will. And
AD, if he wins a belt, I'll pay you $100 when he wins a belt. If he wins a belt, I'll give you $100. I have no problem.
I believe in it because I see the vision. I'm looking. This is years down the road. This is not next fight. It's not 2 fights from now. It's not 3. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, in fact, if he gets to title fight, I'll give you $100. Okay. Not even win.
All he has to do is just fight the guy. Which
it's fine.
Let's be honest, Llama. Do you know who the cruiserweight champion is?
No idea.
Exactly.
Don't care. No idea. Don't care.
Exactly. So you're fighting. You're fighting for these boxers that you don't even know. But like, truthfully,
I'm not
doing the right
boxers.
thing.
I could care less about boxing. This guy again. It's the story that he tells and the way that he goes about it. That's what gets to me. That's it. But again, I get his business acumen. I get it. So let me ask you. So what's your prediction?
I don't know. I really don't know. I could see, honestly, when I first heard the fight, my initial gut was like, Mike Tyson might knock him out, like truthfully, which would be crazy. And again, would blow the fuck up. But I could see it going the whole round, like every round. I don't know how many rounds they're fighting. I would assume 8. But again, who knows? I would like to see more of like, I mean, you know me, I like to actually listen to them speak, like see where their head's at, where Mike's head's at. Seeing him training, and every day since the fight's been announced, there's a new video of him like actually training, kind of gives me a lot of more validation to that initial gut feeling of like, if he knocks Jake Paul out, I wouldn't be surprised, you know? I don't know. Either way, it's got people talking, man. And that's the whole point of this, because again, he's just building his resume.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, he's got us talking about it for 38 minutes. So, which is good. I'm glad, because that was actually topic number 1 for last week, and it was still topic number 1 for this week for us to talk about.
You were not getting away from putting Francis.
Oh no, I knew we were going to still talk about it.
That was terrible.
And I think I jinxed the what's his name for putting him on my tweet. Got knocked out. Jesus, that was terrible watching that fight. Herc is in here. He was saying he won't knock him out, but they'll make it a whole ordeal to give Jake the points to win over Mike and push him to new heights. I have zero energy in me to like Jake Paul, but there's business there. And he says, after watching that Tyson versus Roy Jones fight a few years ago, had a hard time enjoying it. Okay.
Yeah, but that was just 2 old men that I 110% doubt Mike Tyson trained that off for that fight. Let's just keep it 100. Let's keep it 100.
Right.
He literally licked the toad and then was like, "Yeah, I'll take the fight." Like there was no training involved in that. But this, I think, there's pride in this. And again, when you hear Mike Tyson talk about how it feels to like to be a fighter, he has pride in this. He's not gonna just bend over and let Jake Paul win by points. I don't think that's even going to be a case. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight, and people are going to put respect, because that's another thing. Saying he's a 6-year-old Mike Tyson, 6-year-old, look at how good of shape he's in. Look at how fast he's moving. You can't say a 6-year-old, a normal 6-year-old is not moving like that. This is Mike Tyson we're talking about. Like, but their speed. I'm talking about speed, power, all, like, watch the footage. Like, that's just not a normal 6-year-old. You know what I'm saying? So, like, to me, saying Mike Tyson 6-year-old is like that you're giving Jake the out in a lot of ways. Oh, he's just fighting the 6-year-old. But if he gets fucking punched in the face by that 6-year-old, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
But that's what I'm saying. That was part of my whole thing about he can't win. It's like I said, if he knocks out a 60-year-old, they go, oh, look, he knocked out an old man. If he gets knocked out by the 60-year-old, they go, oh, look, he got knocked out by an old man. Like, no. there's just not an optic that makes him look good in this scenario. I'm just saying. That's what happens when you take on 60-year-olds.
You're looking at it as one fight, whereas this is there's a bigger play at this.
No,
like he might not win at the end of the day, he never wins any of his public perception. Never. He beat the fight again. I keep bringing it up. He beat that fighter. Nobody said you beat a Golden Gloves winner. Nobody clapped him up. Nobody said nothing. They just immediately start talking shit about his next fight. There's no winning either way, whether he knocks somebody out or loses a decision. It's even keel. We're always gonna talk about this subject every time he fights. It's just always gonna happen because it's that polarizing. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. I don't think it's good to look at it if there's a win or loss in a public perception, because clearly when he does something good and does what everybody's bitching about him for the last couple of years, he did it. Silence. Just like that moment right there.
Well, again,
but I like the conversation.
No, I do like the conversation. Again, I think the fact is in boxing, again, as you're coming up, no one cares of the fighters you beat along the come up. They care about the champions, the big time fights. So you could have beat 17 guys who were really, really good. But
they all do, actually.
Right. They all do that. You've seen the guys that come up, they're 18-0, 19-0, they get to the title match, and you're like, who is this guy? Never heard of him before. And that happens all the time in that sport.
In boxing, that is a traditional. The thing is, he's risking it by fighting ex-MMA fighters, people that have been in combat. But realistically, he could have just fought a bunch of nobodies that are all amateurs. And what we're gonna say? Well, they're not that good. They're boxers, but they're not that good. Like, there's always gonna be a but when it comes to Jake Paul in the boxing world, because actual boxers pad their stats with shitty people. That's just the truth of the matter. That's always been boxing. That's what makes the UFC way better, and what makes the UFC grander. I mean, to your point also about their promotion, but that's another reason why they don't get paid as much, because in boxing you got to be the one that promotes yourself. And if you're not good at promotion, then nobody gives a fuck. But the UFC does that for you, and they're giving you the hardest fight every time you go out there. They're not fucking giving you layups. They never once. They had Paddy Pimblett, who could have been the next Conor McGregor, and they're giving him fucking fights. And then guess what? The same thing happened in that situation when he fought Tony Ferguson, who's old. Everybody's like, oh, he's old. Now they're like, well, you beat an old guy. Like, it's always going to be that case. But Jake Paul's doing it in a way that, again, to me, it's a bigger business thing for everybody. I think this Netflix deal opens up the doors for the UFC, PFL, all these fucking other organizations, boxing itself, to have massive appeal, you know? Yeah. And that's something other fighters are not doing. And that's just the truth of the matter. And they're fighting actual boxers.
Yeah. Oh no. And I'll be watching. So I won't bullshit you. Tell you I'm watching, but I'm watching for Jake Paul to get knocked the fuck out. That's what I'm waiting. That's what I want to see.
But that's at the end of the day, all this stems from it. You just don't like him, and that's okay. But like, I think like with all the conversations we have, there's like at some point you just got to be like, hey, I might not like the guy, but
you know what? I don't like the Pauls. I don't, but I respect Logan. He's
a shitbag of the both.
No, but I respect what he's doing, because he's in a sport, or not a sport. He's in an entertainment like arena that he has to show his goods, right? And it's a drama. It's a stage thing. It's a scripted series. But as long as he can perform in a scripted area and provide, the entertainment, I can respect that. I was at first I was like, fuck this guy because he didn't come up but then I'm thinking, in the WWE in wrestling, forever there have been these fly by night guys who come in who are big names, who, again, Bad Bunny's in there all the time. Mike Tyson was a wrestler for a while. Dennis Rodman. These guys come in with big names, but if they don't put forth the effort, they're gone, right? So if he is actually doing the work and he's a part-timer and he's coming in and he's doing great matches and selling the work, I respect that because that's what that calls for. So at first I did not like him, but I respect the fact that that's the best of work. Jake, on the other hand, completely different thing. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not a performance. It's not a performance art.
It's an actual fight.
It's not entertainment. It's fighting, but again, you're trying to say fight. But you're trying to say it's legit. I'm legitimate. I'm this. I'm gonna do this, and then you go out and you do the has-been shit, and that's what I'm talking about. That's my whole point.
Have you ever chased a goal and even though you knew you were for me example, since I'm 12 years old, I started baseball late. The minute I touched the baseball, I said I was gonna go pro. Now, whether that happened or not, in that moment, I believed it, and people told me, literally, grown men were like, "You will never pitch in high school. You'll never do this. You'll never do that." And guess what? I proved them wrong every time. But there's something, you have to have that delusion. You have to. And you got to respect it. And he's also not just performing. He's not going in the scripted thing. He's going in and fighting and putting himself on the line. That's one thing you got to respect is he's fighting these people. And again, you're saying it's like you keep like going back to he's fighting boxers, bro. He's done it already. So you can't say he's just going in there just to pat. He's not patting anything. He's actually putting himself on the line against actual boxers and actual people who have fought at a high level, who have either fought for a championship or won a championship in terms of what's his name?
But not as boxers, AD. But not as boxers. They were MMA fighters. They were other fighters. You're handicapping them. You handicap these guys, man. If I can hit you with my bare hands, or with lighter gloves, I'd knock you the fuck out, right? But I'm going to put boxing gloves on. I'm going to put restrictions. If I could choke you out, I'd take you out. But then I put you in a boxing match.
What happened to Francis?
Okay, Francis was an MMA fighter who said, I'm going to go box,
gloves,
and he got knocked out. That's fine.
Exactly. But what would happen?
That was stupid. That was stupid on his part.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think would happen if they fought in the MMA fight?
Him and the other guy?
Yep.
Well, there could have been a takedown. There could have been a grappling. There could have been anything else. Right.
There could have been, or it could have been on the fucking feet, and he would have knocked him out again.
And then if he knocked him out at that point, I give 100% respect, and I say, "Hey, you suck, dude, because that's your territory. That's what you've been training for. You've got all your tools at your
knocked
advantage.
Out on any day.
Of course. But I'm saying, but you've got all your tools. Oh, okay, so a guy who's
Francis is not a wrestler, so it's not like Francis is good at wrestling.
No, I'm just saying, but a guy, an MMA guy who has the tools of takedowns, who has rear naked chokes, who has all this shit that he can do to you, but
Francis
you tell
doesn't
him
have that.
I'm just saying, but you take a guy and you go, all you can do is this with these gloves. You can't kick me, you can't grab me, you can't shoot my leg, you can't do anything other than try to punch me. You're handicapping a guy whose career was to do anything he really needed to do to beat you.
So when Floyd fought McGregor and pieced him up the whole time, what do you guys say for that? Same thing? You took McGregor's... But it's on the foot. But
did he... Hold on. He boxed McGregor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, could McGregor grab him in the legs, shoot his legs, bring him down to a takedown, and then start doing the
But didn't McGregor signed up? He signed up for that, right?
He did.
Now, how about when Logan Paul fought a 50-year-old Floyd Mayweather? Remember that was a thing. A 50-year-old Floyd Mayweather fought Logan Paul. Nobody has said the same thing that they're saying about Tyson and Jake. Not once. They didn't say, "Wow, you're fighting an older guy." No, they did not. Even though he was up there in age. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a weird, to me, it's just a weird like, well, this is okay for this, but it's not okay for this. It's like it's all the same thing. You got it the same way you give him Logan Paul respect for going in the wrestling ring. You got to give Jake the same respect for training camps, cutting weight, and going in and fighting, because not many men will do that. I'm telling you that right now. Like that's hard to do, and to consistently do it. And yeah, it's not to the people's high level, but he's doing it consistently, and he's doing it for the last couple of years, and he's doing it to where it is becoming a high level. He is raising fighting in general. Logan Paul is not raising the WWE. Logan Paul is just a worker for them. So you got to give both of them credit for doing it. I think personally. That's my take on it, because I see a lot of people just discrediting just because they don't like the guy.
Yeah.
But when you actually listen to him talk, and listen to him, not just clips, not just what people want you to hear, go actually listen to the kid. It's a lot different. You might actually have a respect for what he's doing, because he clearly loves this shit. He clearly wants this shit. And I can respect it as somebody who started a game late and was told I couldn't do it, and got to higher levels than people who were more talented than me, better than me, getting scouted. I was making people look bad. Why? Because I wanted it more. That's just the truth. You can't knock somebody who wants it. I guess the best way to say it is you just can't knock somebody who has it in their heart to do something. You can't. And maybe that's why I'm so defensive about it, because it hits a nerve for me, because it's like the same thing with podcasting. I mean, with you, we make fun of you for being old, but like, you believe you can do this shit, right?
Right.
Fuck what anybody else says. And there will be people saying, Llama, you're old. So, like, what are you talking about right now? Like, you know, but guess what? You're fucking doing this shit. And you got to give any person credit who's chasing something they got in their heart, to me.
No, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. This has been a great discussion.
Yeah.
This is a great discussion. I like the fiery AD versus Llama discussion, because it truly is fun to engage you, and just so everyone knows, no hard feelings on either side. We love to just hammer it out. But I see your points. I see your points on this. So, but I still don't like the guy, and I'll still be rooting for Mike Tyson to win.
I mean,
so
I'm also like, don't get it twisted. I want Mike Tyson to knock him out for sure, because it would be a great meme. But at the end of the day, he's gonna fight again. That's just the truth of the matter, you know.
That's true. That's true.
Like, I don't want to get it twisted. Like, I'm like, oh, Drake's gonna. Nah, I don't give a fuck who wins, to be honest. I like it because, to me, I'm really invested in the fighting world itself, mostly MMA. But I think what Jake is doing will help MMA fighters, because, again, the UFC does take they make a lot of fucking money, man. A lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
And it's not always going back to the fighters. And that's just
no, that's true. That's true. So there's issues there, and Dana White has a stronghold on that money for sure. He makes a lot of it, and the fighters don't get nearly enough for the pounds that they're getting. So, all right, no, so this was good discussion. This was good discussion. A good argument. I'm glad we still had hammered it out even after last week's absence. Just a couple of things before we wrap up tonight's show. Again, thank you, AD, for the passionate discussion. Want to thank everybody who joined us on the chat. We had Gabe. Gabe was here early with us. Katie, I didn't recognize you. Hey, Katie, thank you. Just Dudes Being Guys say, hey, Mom, Dad, please stop fighting. Herc was in the building. He was here with us as well. We had someone really early. I can't. He's not in my StreamYard, so I can't bring him up. He said he wanted to catch a live, but he didn't show up here. I forgot what his name is, but he wanted to check it out, so he was there early. Okay, so a couple of things, a couple of shout outs before we shut it down. Obviously, shout out to Primetime Mitch, my buddy from across the pond. We did the Guilty Pleasures movie podcast / video. He did the editing on that video, and I put it on my podcast. So I think it did really well in terms of our conversation. I had a fun time with it. He's starting out his channel. So if you guys would, to support, if any of you guys support me and you want to support that venture, please go to Primetime Mitch on YouTube and go and like the video. It's called Guilty Pleasure Movies, and it features me. Him and I were just talking about what our favorite guilty pleasure movies were. And if you guys want to help him out, go ahead and subscribe to his channel. Again, he's Primetime Mitch, or Mitch Cassidy as he's known on YouTube. That was a good fun conversation. This week, what you'll see from me, there is a reaction that will probably be out either Monday or Tuesday at the very latest for a movie called Iga, and that's an Indian movie. Had a lot of fun with that one. And then I will be hopefully recording a reaction this week with Little Llama. That's the plan. I think we're going to be watching Interstellar together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, his request. I haven't seen it, and I heard it's a tearjerker. So maybe two llamas crying in this movie. I don't know. He doesn't cry though, so he's probably going to look at me funny. So yeah, we're going to record that this week, and then we're going to have more of our first impressions come out this week, because I have time to put some of those out there. I'm just really, really excited. And also again, go to Whatnot under Blkout Slabs to support Blkout AD if you guys are looking for Pokemon cards. We'll try to, again, if he's streaming out there, or if he's out there in the lives, he has some pretty good auctions, some giveaways, and got a lot of good stuff there that he's going to be selling on Whatnot. So got to go to the Whatnot app and then look under Blkout Slabs. That's how you'll find his shop. All right. Anything else, AD, that you got going on this week?
No, man.
No? Okay.
I'm not promoting Llama.
I know. I'm promoting for you.
I'm in the anti-promoting thing. I want to put out more content before we start being like, hey, go. I haven't been.
Listen.
That's just me. Like, I haven't been on my shit, so I don't feel right promoting stuff that I'm not really sticking to.
No, I understand. Because it's spring break, this week, and I'm off this week, I'll put it on the channel and I'll send it out on the social medias. I may host another watch party. I'm not sure when. I'll put that out there, but I'm thinking of, just so I can have some content in the hopper for editing, I may do another watch party. So look out for that as well. So really, really excited, guys. Thank you again, guys, for putting up with us arguing all night. But again, this was a fun conversation. I think it was one of a great episode for us to talk through that. And thank you guys for sticking with us. And I, again, apologize for missing last week. But again, we're back, and we'll be back every single week. So again, this is the Big Llama Show, Sunday night live stream. Join us every Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on Facebook, on YouTube, and at Twitch at Blkout_AD. He is my co-host, Blkout AD. I am the Big Llama. We'll see you guys next week, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace out, everybody.
Later.